Here, we showed you this earlier, 281 south at the quarry. Traffic looks a little bit lighter, but still a whole lot of taillights. Very slow going southbound 281 near the quarry. Shelby.
As you're waking up tomorrow, still expect temperatures about 43 degrees, seeing those clear skies persist throughout most of the day. Instead of being near 80 at lunchtime, we're near 70 degrees. Still seeing temperatures, peak temperature about 77 degrees. Great trick-or-treating forecast tomorrow evening with rain chances returning on Saturday.
Thanks, Shelby.
Okay.
Thanks for watching the music too.
We'll see you tonight at 10 for the Nightbeat. Good night.
Because holiday shopping this year isn't business as usual.
Yeah, I'm definitely not ready, but prices on many items are higher and timing is everything. So here's how you can make your money go further.
The holiday shopping season is already taking shape, but this year, Santa may have to tighten his belt. A new report finds that consumers expect to drop their holiday gift spending by 11% compared to last year. So, as you approach your holiday shopping, Consumer Reports has some strategies to help you save where it matters the most.
Buying earlier can lock in lower prices and give you the best selection before the most popular items sell out. But buying early doesn't mean buying more. Sticking to your list helps you make sure your budget stays on track.
And waiting too long can also cost you. Prices often climb as the holidays get closer, and tariffs, shipping costs, or product shortages could push them even higher.
Shopping early can be convenient, but it can shorten your return and warranty window. However, some retailers do help. Walmart and JCPenney accept most holiday returns into late January.
So the trick here is not just buying early, but also buying smart.
A good deal is only a deal if the product works well. You can check our ratings to see things like warranty lengths and compare across stores.
Another way to save is by stacking deals, use retailer coupons, cashback apps, and credit card rewards all together.
Don't forget about loyalty programs. They often come with perks like waived return fees or extended return periods. And of course, always keep your receipts.
We're going to see clearing skies for the rest of the afternoon, and we'll be left with a high temperature right near 87 in San Antonio. So it's going to be a warm one.
Tonight on the Nightbeat, nearly 4 months after the deadly July 4th floods, the search still continues for 2 missing victims. We're going to show you the latest efforts to locate them along the Guadalupe River.
So many people showed up in San Antonio's Pride Cultural Heritage District Thursday night to fight for something they say shouldn't even be up for question. We'll tell you why they're fighting and what their goal is coming up tonight on the Nightbeat.
Plus, they're being sold or billed as a package deal. But what happens if one proposition on the Bexar County ballot gets approved and the other one doesn't next week? We're going to break down a few of those scenarios in just a few minutes.
Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
It's been a very long 118 days, and yet recovery efforts continue after the deadly floods up in the Hill Country.
So tonight we're getting a closer look at a renewed search in Ingram. The night team's Avery Everett shows us what's happening along the Guadalupe River.
Yeah, I see it as a revival.
The search hasn't stopped for the 2 people still missing after the July 4th floods. You can see the debris piled up on that barge here in the middle of Ingram Lake. This is the home base for search operations on this part of the Guadalupe River. This new attempt at recovery brings heavy machinery to Ingram's lake bed, and it also brings some relief to residents like Ann Carr and Richard Allen.
Say, what does the Guadalupe River and Ingram Lake mean to y'all? Everything. If the lake isn't clean, if people don't have confidence, they're not going to come to Ingram.
Ann and Richard live along Ingram Lake. They say this operation is a hopeful step forward, but one that still comes with a lot of questions.
You don't know what's in there.
So we went to the Texas Division of Emergency Management. A spokesperson confirmed this is a search operation. Richard took this video of the crews near his home in Ingram last week.
They've been sifting through all this rock.
Both Richard and Ann think the riverbed surface has been completely changed from the flood, and he says he can see that from his store-bought marine radar on his own boat.
We don't know what's down there, if it's a piles of rock or if it's a car with rocks piled on top of it.
That's why Ann thinks the fastest way to get answers is by draining the lake.
Until we get in there and really make a concerted effort to get everything out of the lake and out of the river, people are going to be hesitant.
The movement to drain the lake appears to be growing, but TDEM officials have not confirmed to us whether that option is being discussed. As the search here continues, this community is calling for transparency.
We've heard from so many people about how after the floods, their relationship with the river and the lake has changed.
Especially with 2 people still missing.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way?
Yes, and that's another reason why we've got to see it to believe it.
A chance to bring closure and cleanup to the Guadalupe River. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
Now today, one area man's home on the floodplain is standing literally on new heights in Center Point. Mike Blackledge's house on the Guadalupe River was destroyed by the 4th of July floods, and he had not been able to get the permits needed to start the rebuilding process until his property was raised above the floodplain. But today, some good news after a Center Point foundation called Annie's Helping Hands raised more than $17,000 for Mike's home to be lifted another 3 feet.
I've had a tremendous amount of, of community support. It's been overwhelming at times.
Now, the foundation hopes to raise more money in order to help more homeowners and flood victims in the Hill Country. To find the link to the nonprofit, just search for this story on our website at ksat.com. A call to action to prevent another tragedy. Earlier today, District 6 City Councilman Rick Galvan pushed for an immediate traffic study of Marbach Road on the west side. Now, this comes after a John Jay High School student was recently hit and killed by a truck while crossing the road in a crosswalk. KSAT has been following this story since September when that student was hit. And Councilman Galvan wants to activate school zone flashing lights during lunch hours, review street designs, and identify safe walking routes. Galvan has requested the city work with Northside ISD on this. Mayor Gino Ortiz-Jones has confirmed the city's Public Works Department will review safety along Marbach Road.
Also, now we continue a story that KSAT Investigates first broke last month. The city of Uvalde trying to block the release of records related to the death of a congressional staffer for Congressman Tony Gonzalez. Uvalde police say that Regina Santos Aviles died last month after catching on fire in her own backyard while she was alone. Our KSAT Investigates team asked for copies of 911 calls. But then in a letter sent to the Attorney General's office, the city of Uvalde argued that should be kept private, something that Santos Aviles' husband agrees with. Uvalde city attorneys say that it's, quote, publicly known that Santos Aviles died from self-inflicted injuries. The Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office, meanwhile, confirms that it's still working to figure out what caused her death.
Well, incorrect information in the arrest affidavit. That was at the center of today's testimony in the trial for 3 former San Antonio police officers accused of killing Melissa Perez. The lead detective in the case, Ronald Soto, took the stand for a 4th day in a row. In Soto's arrest affidavit, he wrote that Perez was near the hallway of her home, or rather her apartment, when officers shot her. But body camera video from one of the officers showed that she was walking toward the officers with a hammer at the time. During the defense's questioning, Soto admitted that he was wrong when he wrote the arrest affidavit. If found guilty, Eleazar Alejandro, Alfred Flores, and Nathaniel Villalobos all face up to life in prison. Now, we are live streaming this trial, and you can watch it on all of our streaming platforms and KSAT.com. Testimony is expected to continue tomorrow morning around 9:15.
There's a question that people have been asking ever since this case began, and it's how rare it is for a police officer to be charged with murder for something that he or she did while on duty. And the answer is that it's very rare. We spoke with St. Mary's law professor Sigrid Vendrell Polanco, and she says that police officers kill 1,000 people every year in the U.S., and that around 2% of those killings result in criminal charges. She says that fewer than 1% lead to convictions, and here's how else she explained it.
Prosecution has to prove that it was objectively reasonable actions by the police officer, and that that no other officer would have acted in the exact same way. That's an extraordinarily high standard.
Vendrell Polanco also says that this trial could have serious legal fallout because the jury's verdict could set the precedent for how police shootings get tried in the future. Now we have to talk about this upcoming election. You know, whenever people discuss props A and B on the Bexar County ballot, they've been presented as a pair. You know, one goes with the other. But what happens if there's a split result.
It could happen that way. The rodeo indicated again this week that their plans would stay roughly the same. Prop A would fund a makeover of county facilities around the Frostbank Center and pave the way for year-round rodeo-style events, while Prop B would help pay for a new Spurs arena downtown.
So if you, the voters, approve Prop A, the head of the rodeo says that they're going to have fancier facilities, and if you don't, then they won't. They say that while they may not attract more high-end events, they're still planning to hold more year-round events.
Both get shot down. In that case, none of these plans go ahead. I mean, what's the plan then?
Our plan will remain the same. Again,
Which is year-round?
I can't speak on behalf of the Spurs, right?
Okay, right.
But I would say I think it's pretty safe to say that they're not staying there. They publicly stated that. So we would begin planning on the year-round operations on our end on that lower level without the nicer facilities. They would roll out what their plans are in their due time when they're ready to tell us.
Now, a Spurs spokeswoman declined to comment on the possibility of a split result, beyond saying that they are focused on getting both propositions passed and that there is not a plan B. Now, she did not respond when we asked if the Spurs plan to eventually leave the Frostbank Center, regardless of what happens next Tuesday night.
Here's the main question, though. Have you voted? Because more than 100,000 people in Bexar County have so far. Tomorrow is the last day that you can vote early before the election on November 4th.
Now, according to the Bexar County Elections Department, these are the busiest and the slowest polling locations on your screen. We've been keeping up with the election news that you need to know about, and if you'd like to learn more about what's on the ballot, because there's more than just the two props, and also where to vote, again, tomorrow is the last day for early voting. You can scan the QR code there on your screen.
The battle over a rainbow crosswalk just isn't going anywhere. More than 100 people went to San Antonio's Pride District tonight to keep this rainbow flag right here exactly where it is, because it's a symbol of gay pride. Earlier this month, Governor Greg Abbott ordered cities and counties across the state to remove, quote, political ideologies from streets because he says that they distract drivers. The night team's Zaria Oates spoke with people who say that even if the rainbow is removed, they're going to find another way to get their message across.
The message of this event is written on the walls. History here. It's a message that reflects the upbringing of George, Lonnie, and Autumn.
I never thought in my lifetime I would see marriage equality, and we did. I never thought that I would see a crosswalk, and we did. And now they're trying to take it away from us.
We even caught a biker passing by who had a quick message to everyone gathering.
Well, I find your crosswalk very festive, and I'm heterosexual, so it's just very nice. I like it.
But people liking or not liking the crosswalk isn't going to keep it here alone. Governor Greg Abbott sent out a directive to TxDOT, and TxDOT then sent out a directive to local cities and counties saying that they had 30 days from October 8th to comply with making sure that there were not any political ideologies on Texas streets. It's a part of the Safe Roads Initiative, emphasizing that intersections and crosswalks should be kept free from distractions. But the people who showed up feel like this is a direct attack on the LGBTQ+ community.
They want us to cower. They want us to fear.
Do you feel like this is a public safety concern?
I don't believe it's a public safety concern because of the fact it's simply a crosswalk. We have the safety. The safety part is we walk across this as any other. The only difference is it's colorful.
Do you find it distracting at all, safety-wise?
No. I was like, there's definitely a crosswalk here.
We're going to continue to use our voice, and with our voice comes votes.
But if the crosswalk does go away, they're prepared for that too.
We'll find another way. If these buildings start going up in rainbow, it's going to show that this is a network, a community.
Everyone here just hoping it doesn't get to that point.
In this crosswalk, it may be as simple as just like paint on the road, but to me it means that I can be here, I can stand here, I can be safe, and I can feel like myself.
Governor Greg Abbott's directive to TxDOT actually came from a federal order on July 1st from the Department of Transportation titled Roads Are for Safety, Not Politics. I'm Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
So to continue on with that, the U.S. Transportation Secretary had said that local jurisdictions that don't comply with these rules could face federal cuts when it comes to road funding.
Well, still ahead, a looming end to SNAP benefits is hitting local families hard. We're going to introduce you to a group doing their best to keep people fed amid the government shutdown.
Plus, as the shutdown standoff continues in Washington, we're going to tell you what Texas leaders are doing. Welcome back. A quick programming note. The TV provider YouTube TV and our affiliate network ABC are in a contract dispute and have indicated to KSAT that the ABC program is not going to be available on YouTube TV after 10:59 p.m. tonight.
So that's just in a little bit. So we wanted to let you know of this development between the two businesses. And by the way, KSAT 12 does not have any say in this matter. All of our newscasts will continue to be streamed on the free KSAT Plus app on your smart TV or mobile device. If you watch KSAT 12 on something other than YouTube TV, then you will not be affected. And this does not affect any clips or shows from KSAT 12 that you watch on YouTube.
It is possible that both ABC and YouTube TV could reach an agreement at any point. If that happens, when that happens, we'll keep you in the loop. We'll keep you updated.
All right, meanwhile, a local pantry is prepared to help fill the gap when funding for the SNAP Food Assistance Program runs out this coming Saturday.
Just in a few days. It's called Inner City Development, and people go there for food all the time. And now with the ongoing federal government shutdown, staff at the Westside Pantry say that they expect more people to go there for help.
Now, Patty Radel, who oversees Inner City, says that people in the community have come through in a big way in the past to help keep the facility going, but she's not sure whether that help will continue to be enough.
We've been lucky here. People have been generous, and it's saying, can you be a little more generous? You're already a generous person. Can you help a little more?
And Radel actually showed off her food pantry to Congressman Joaquin Castro, who you see there.
The Democratic leader called on Republicans in Congress to end the shutdown. Meanwhile, Republican Senator John Cornyn and Congressman Tony Gonzalez each issued written statements saying Democrats are the holdouts in the stalemate. Well, as far as state leaders are concerned, Democrats are urging Governor Abbott to use emergency state funding to help with SNAP benefits.
We know that it's something that affects more than 3.5 million Texans who depend on SNAP benefits.
For sure. So in a letter to the governor, Democrats urged him to use executive authority to declare a state of emergency. According to the Texas Tribune, Governor Abbott's office said in part, quote, Senate Democrats should immediately end their government shutdown by approving legislation that already passed the U.S. House that would fully fund the government and ensure Texans don't go hungry.
Okay, so time now is 10:17. I'm looking there, 56 degrees. I'm just going to keep pointing to the temperatures as long as I can because this is exactly what we've been waiting for. And I'm thinking that, you know, with temperatures being cooler, there is less evaporation when it comes to our drought levels because we are still in a drought.
Yeah, so you kind of tease both of what I'm talking about. Yes, we're still enjoying the beautiful fall conditions, but it's Thursday, and that means the latest drought monitor was issued. And I do have some good news for everyone. So what I have here is a side-by-side comparison of last week's drought monitor, which is on the right, and this week's drought monitor, which is on the left. I know it can be a little confusing. Normally you think the latest drought monitor would be on the right, but really the last week's drought monitor was on the right. This week's was on the left. And what we're noticing is a major improvement, especially just in Medina County. You were in that exceptional drought, which was the worst kind of drought. And now you're just in that red color, which is that extreme drought. And part of it is because you saw much needed rain over the last week or so. As I take this little pencil, I am going to outline kind of where we saw that worst drought, and it was basically near Castroville. But with the drought monitor, they take all the rainfall totals, all the drainage between all the rivers, the creeks, the streams, and that really contributes to the latest drought monitor, which is why that exceptional to extreme drought in southeastern portions of Medina County is no longer. Now, we do have some rain coming up later this weekend. We're not expecting the rainfall totals that I just showed you, but we are expecting just a quick splash and dash shower, all because of a weak cool front moving through along the Red River tomorrow night into Saturday morning. It's not going to affect our temperatures, but it is still going to give us the chances of some rain, especially as we go through Saturday afternoon. It is about that 2 p.m. to even that 8 p.m. window, but really it's going to be very quick, very isolated. Some folks might not even get any rain. And as that cool front moves through, we're expecting those clear skies and still the beautiful cooler conditions. In fact, tomorrow morning, 43 degrees in San Antonio as you're waking up, 37 in the hill country near Bernie and Comfort, 39 degrees. And for Halloween, it is going to be a frighteningly perfect afternoon. Temperature is still going to be a little on the warmer side in the 70s, but once that sun really starts to go down, it really is starting to cool off. So you might need a little bit of a jacket for the younger kids, but otherwise rain chances on Saturday, and the fall weather is here to stay, at least for the mornings. 80s return next week.
Let's just enjoy this. Thank you, Shelby.
I'm enjoying the sports department, that's for sure. And it's official, Larry, the Spurs record book will have to be rewritten tonight.
Yes, they are 5-0. What a great ball game tonight against the Miami Heat, who are averaging some 130 points a game. They didn't even get close to that tonight, thanks to the big guy, Victor Wembanyama. And we've also got Thursday night big game coverage, including Smithson Valley, coming up. The John Jay faithful were cheering on their Mustangs tonight in big board sports. All right, Wemby and the Spurs are home tonight hosting the Heat and looking to make some franchise history. First quarter action, Devin Vassell shoots and misses, and Wemby is there for an easy tip-in, and the Spurs lead 7-2. Off a Heat turnover now, Wemby feeds Jordan McLaughlin for a fast break three, and it's 33-29 San Antonio. They led 33-31 after one. Second quarter, check it out. The pass goes to Vassell in the corner. He drives baseline and flips it to Wemby for an alley-oop slam, giving the fans what they paid for, and San Antonio led 59-58 at halftime. Jumping to the fourth, the Spurs are down one when Devin Vassell gives the Spurs the lead for good, 93-91 with 5:27 left in the fourth. Seconds later, Wemby fires and he sinks a three, and San Antonio never looks back as they win 107-101, improving to 5-0 for the first time in franchise history. Wemby had 27 points, 18 boards, and 5 blocked shots.
I thought his defensive presence and the ground he covered in the second half felt more demonstrative than the first half. And I thought you could really see it there at the start of the third quarter, and then again when we needed it in the fourth.
The Spurs will next play at the Phoenix Suns Sunday night at 7. It's time for big game coverage. MacArthur and Smithson Valley were facing off at Hero Stadium, and Adam the Photog getting both runouts for us at the same time. First quarter, the Rangers marching down the field. Running back Gunnar Sjöquist totes the rock. He stiff arms a defender right down to the turf. Stiff arms one more before going out of bounds. Now, moments later, Ty Knutson, the quarterback, flips the ball to Gunnar, and he finishes off the drive with a 1-yard touchdown as the Rangers strike first 7-0, and Smithson Valley rolls 56-7. Over at Comalander Stadium, the Johnson student section was definitely in the Halloween spirit tonight, dressed up and cheering for our camera. On the football field, the Johnson Jaguars face the Churchill Chargers in some District 27 6A football. Jags ball, quarterback Elvis Estrada flips it to wideout Bryson Thompson, and that call works to perfection. 29-yard touchdown to put the Jags on top, 21-3, and Johnson remains undefeated, 48-3. Here's the Southwest Dragons taking the field at Ferris Stadium to face the John Jay Mustangs in a District 14 5A1 contest. Opening kickoff, Jay boots the ball down the field. Now it's fielded by Ryan Garay. He runs up the field, cuts to his right, but he puts the ball on the turf, and it's recovered by the Mustangs, and John Jay, they're in business. Moments later, a handoff goes to Brennan Oliver. He runs through all the big guys, works his way in for an 8-yard touchdown. John Jay leads it 7-0, and they get the dub 35-7. And we end the night at the Gus, where the Holmes Huskies and Marshall Rams are playing on this Halloween Eve. Fourth quarter, Rams ball, QB Chase Chapa hands it off to Braylon Glover, and he fights his way in for a short touchdown, and the Rams lead at 41-28. Back come the Huskies. Number 7, Jordan Conway Mitchell, runs right through a huge hole, and he breaks off a sweet little touchdown run. But Marshall edges out Holmes 48-42 in this 28-6A matchup. And 4 more finals for you tonight. Bernie shut out McCollum 42-0. Burbank beat Edison 47-13. Southside won an Eagle Pass win 20-7, and SA Cornerstone rolled at Austin Lassa 62-6. UTSA football and an Arch Manning update coming up after the break.